Salty's stormy tale. The engines enjoy working when the sun shines. One day, Thomas and Percy were helping Salty at the docks. But Salty was worried. Peeped Percy. Salty knew they were making fun of him. He felt sad. Later, Sir Topham Hatt arrived. He said, replied Salty sadly. Salty was glad he was going to the smelters. He didn't want to stay where he wasn't liked. Asked Emily. And he huffed away. Emily knew she had to find Thomas and Percy immediately. Whistled Thomas. Peep Percy? Emily was cross. Said Percy. Added Thomas. But Salty was nowhere to be found. Thomas and Percy were worried. Fergus was waiting for Salty when he arrived at the smelters. Congratulated Fergus. Said Salty. Soon they were hooked up and on their way home. Salty was right about the storm. It was a fierce one. The ships at sea depend upon the lighthouse to keep them safely off the rocks. But now there was trouble. Cried the captain. Salty and Fergus were fighting their way through the wind and rain. Then Salty saw a lantern ahead. The lighthouse keeper was waiting for him. Salty had an idea. Shouted the lighthouse keeper. Fergus's flywheel was attached to the generator's shaft. Without the lighthouse, the ship was steaming towards the rocks. Fergus was working as fast as he could. Finally, the generator came back to life. The lighthouse beam shone across the stormy sea once more. Salty's idea had saved the day. Fergus worked hard until first light. The next morning, Salty and Fergus chugged back to the docks. They were surprised to see a crowd waiting for them. Said the captain. Boomed Sir Topham Hatt. Salty was very proud. Said Thomas. Replied Salty happily. Now they will all work together and have fun together, as good friends should.